So welcome to this new video, to this new lesson. Here we're looking at product management considerations. This is the last part of the second chapter in the standard for project management. After this presentation, we will start with the third part of the standard. So let's have a look. What is product management about? Now, when we look at product management, we are about producing products or services, and they follow a specific cycle of introduction, growth, maturity, and decline or retirement. Products are quantifiable and can be finished products or components. For example, a bicycle wheel can be a finished product or be a component of a bicycle. Product management involves the integration of people, data, business processes to create, maintain, and develop the product or service over its life cycle. Here we see the classical life cycle. We see product development, we look at the introduction, the growth, the maturity, and the decline. And it's a typical cycle that we find for any product. The red line shows the profits, and of course, when we're below the x-axis or the time axis, it means that we're making losses. Sales typically only start when we do the introduction of the project. So we start with the product development, which of course has a cost, but those costs increase during introduction. We have to market the things, we have all kinds of things that we have to do in order to bring the product on the market. Once we see growth, at the end of introduction, we see that already profit starts to emerge. We start to make money. And during growth, we see that the sales are increasing. The maturity also, we still increase, but once we reach maturity, we see that the sales are reducing. And when we decline, when we come to the phase of decline, the sales are going down like the profits, and it's time to start with a new product. This cycle shows that we have to keep on developing new products in order to keep our sales going, to keep our profits going. But we have to invest. Now, what does it mean to projects, programs, and portfolio? We start with a business case. The business case has to be approved before we can start with product development. We have the project definition. What are we going to do? What are the conditions? And then we can start with the first project, which is what we call the creation of the product itself. During introduction, we look at the project to start production. We have to start producing those items. We have to set up the production lines, things like that. And we start also doing optimizations. We have a production line which is not optimized, so we have to identify how can we optimize, how can we reduce our costs doing this. Now, when we look at this is basically one program that we can consider. The program is to bring the product from definition to introduction so that it's on the market, to market the product that we're developing. Once we are in growth, we have different projects. We can add features. We see that some items are there. We may have a product which has, let's say, a limited number of features, but once the product is in the growth phase, we see that we can add features. We add those using projects. So we have two projects here, projects 4 and 5, to add the features. The next thing we do is look at revisions. What can we revise? What can we change in the product? We look again at some revisions, and finally we continue again with optimizations. Certainly in maturity, it's very important to optimize all the processes because all these things are going on. All the competitors are doing similar things, and we have to ensure that our products still have a good quality and that we are competitive and that we make a profit. At the end, we see project retirement, project 9, the retirement of the product that we finished. That could be considered to be a second program. All of that is consideration or considered as a part of portfolio governance. when we look at the product life cycle and program management, we have to consider short and long-running product life cycles. The longer the product life cycle is, the more complex and integrated management we need. It is key to operate related projects, subsidiary programs, and program activities and bind them together into programs so that we have a combination, that we have a synergy with all the things we are doing. We are not having projects on different islands. We are in a complete environment where all these projects exist. Portfolio governance becomes very important, and it's key to managing the different stages properly. We have to follow portfolio governance like we defined it to ensure an effective management of our products. When we look at the product lifecycle and project management, there are different projects that oversee the different stages of the product. We've seen that in the previous slide. We look at the elements, we look at all these projects which are in fact part of the ongoing business activities. We have to update the products, we have to improve them, we have to revise them, and things like that. Portfolio governance oversees the different projects that will introduce enhancements and improvements or to produce other outcomes. So we have the portfolio governance that is basically dealing with all of these elements. Product management within the program, when we look at the full product life cycle, it can be part of a specific program. And we can have subsequent programs and projects to define and introduce achievements or achieve specific benefits for that specific product or service. We can enhance the benefits by applying product management competencies. So project management is different from project management. We will see, or we need to apply product management competencies in order to evolve the projects or the products into competitive products that have a good reputation. These were the considerations related to product management. We looked at the different elements about a product, the different projects, the programs, and the portfolios that are involved in it. But that was it for this lesson. Anyway, next lesson will be about the project management principles. So we'll start looking into the project management principles, and it's also the third part of the standard for project management. And after this part, we will start with the PMBOK itself. So that was it. I thank you a lot. You're doing a great job. Keep on doing the work. Step by step, we're coming to the end of the course. And great job. See you next lesson, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you, and bye-bye.